Hello and thank you for joining the Friday edition of Journalist Hangout. I'm Ayodele Osinbajo. Today on the program, federal government blows hot, says hate speech will be treated as terrorism. 9 years after, Kwara yet to pay pensioners. And later on the program, Nigerian Airlines spend 50 billion naira annually on aircraft maintenance overseas. I'll be joined by Babajide Kolade Otoju, Dari Udufowokon, and Boyiga Koshile will be joining us in the course of the program. So if you are ready, let the hangout start now. Today, Nigeria is going through trying times. Almost all its regions are soaked with tension. Boko Haram is threatening its existence in the northeast. Some elements are calling for secession. In the southeast, herdsmen are running riots in many agrarian parts that militant in its south-south region are calling for compensation, and its economy is sadly hurting. As government deals with these mountainous challenges, some elements in the north declared fellow citizens unfit to live in their land. They gave them an ultimatum to quit. In no time, hate speech was everywhere, and it felt as if the country might tear apart. To calm the tension, the federal government employed diplomacy as a tool. It met with leaders of thought from the regions, but the hate speech has refused to stop. But it seems the tactics is about to change. On Thursday, Acting President Osinbajo said the federal government has drawn a line against hate speech. He said it will now be taken as an act of terrorism, and whoever is caught will face the music. Is the federal government technically declaring a war here? What does this mean? Babajide, we see a situation whereby we take democracy as freedom of speech, and the guarantees freedom of speech, and a lot of people have taken liberty to make a lot of inciting comments. Let me start from 2015. In that 2015, the campaigns between the APC and PDP, there was a time some very, very dangerous documentaries, were aired without regulations, and ever after that, since that election, we still have a lot of people, still reasoning across ethnic lines, still contributing to national issues according to their ethnic or religious lines. And the Arewa ultimatum actually, was the climax of the whole thing, because they are giving October 1. And a lot of people are saying that, look, the South-South leaders have been meeting, the North-Central leaders, the minority in the North, they've been meeting because of the declaration of this Arewa people. And we have another character in the South, it's called Nnamdi Kanu. So many times he has been quoted as saying things that, I can't even, say on air. So tell us the damages that, this hate speech has wreaked on our polity.
Honestly, we are playing with we are sitting on a keg of gunpowder. On June 13, Acting President Osinbajo met with northern leaders, and he said that the government was already fed up with the preponderance of hate speech in the land. And he said government was prepared to enforce its laws by dealing decisively with those involved in these hate remarks. But between the time when the acting president blew hot, people have actually raised the stakes. Irresponsible Nigerians have continued to make inflammatory remarks, and nothing has happened to them. So I really do not know what will happen next. Because more than 1 month after he issued that threat during his meeting with the northern leaders, we've had the Arewa youths, so-called youths, elderly youths, we've had them saying that they were not in a hurry to withdraw the quit notice that they gave to the Igbos. And we've had Nnamdi Kanu saying all kinds of nonsensical things about his country. He has not been picked up. And we've had the representatives of government saying that the decision was actually taken to not arrest Nnamdi Kanu and Shettima and his gang, because they felt that could actually worsen things. That a security decision was made to not arrest those guys. But the unfortunate thing is that because they've not been arrested, they continue to say all kinds of lousy things. They continue to heat up the polity. I've had someone from the side of government say that those guys actually claimed that they were misquoted. That Shettima and his gang claimed that they were misquoted. But the video of Shettima and others issuing threats,
yes,
is there for all to see.
Giving dates.
So Nigerian officials have been trying to just calm things down. I guess that they got reports that if they should move against those guys, it could actually worsen things. Yes, ours is a very complex country. And one wrong move can actually lead to the death of so many people. You know, you can imagine in our country, some people cartooned the Holy Prophet in Denmark.
It's
The number of people, in the whole of the world, not 5 people died. But in 1 week, in fact, within 48 hours, more than 100 people were killed in Nigeria. Is that bad?
to show the sensitivity.
When the war started in Afghanistan in 2001, in the whole of the theater of war in Afghanistan, 100 people had not died, despite the bombing by the Americans. In 1 week, those who decided to demonstrate over what was happening in Afghanistan, they killed more than 100 people in Kano alone. So that's how close we are, how perennially close to violence we are as a people. And that's why any wrong move could actually worsen things. So I can see clearly that there's a reluctance to arrest Nnamdi Kanu. You know, and because of that, someone was even boasting the other day that the arrest of Nnamdi Kanu will hasten the declaration of Biafra.
Yesterday, I even saw some pictures. Nnamdi Kanu with his his own
commanders,
soldiers, and I was like,
and the secret
just
police
doing everything
just to provoke the country. There is
flaunting
a
his
sovereign
bail
state.
conditions.
Within a sovereign state, you are declaring another state, and you are provoking our people. It's really provoking the security agencies. He wants them to come for him. It's like, come and get me if you can. That is what he's doing, because he reasons that nobody will want to arrest him at this time. We made a mistake with him from the beginning by giving him undue popularity. Now he's milking that popularity, and he has now become almost. He has become literally uncontrollable. The governor of Anambra State was chased away from a church by Nnamdi Kanu and his gang. So it is that bad. Only God knows where this whole thing will end. So in my view, the acting president has just been making all those statements, feel-good statements, so that people will know, not say that he's indifferent. He's challenging Nigerian leaders, community leaders and all that, look, when you are silent about these hate speeches, it suggests that you endorse hate speeches, so that the people should talk more. But how about the role of government in all of this? Will government just keep quiet and not make examples of people who are trying to push the rest of us to war? The acting president said, see, that these days wars don't end. Wars don't end. A war that you think will end in a few days can actually last years. So, but will the government just continue to watch and not make examples of people?
Dari, when you look at this dimension, even down south, you discover that, you know, some people who want to address government, they want to maybe correct the policies of government, the way they go about it, the way they describe the president, the way they, you know, if somebody is telling us that the president is in coma, and there's without proof, a governor with a life on a life support machine that have 11 pictures. So for me, that falls into the category of this
hate species.
Yes.
Yes. Well, you see, talking about hate species, I think the totality is quite frightening, and that's the situation we have found ourselves in Nigeria, where people just talk because they have made up their mind to talk. You just made a very brilliant example, something I actually don't like talking about. Because when you are in a position of authority, a governor ought to know what to say and what not to say. While one may want to allow politicians to play their politics, I think there should be a limit to what we politic with. And now, talking about...
a commoner that can
just... I mean, when you talk, a lot of people take whatever you say very seriously. So for some people, because a governor said Buhari is a dodo now, then he is. It will take more than any other person.
Honestly, even same videos
to convince them. Because of the stature of the man who said, I mean, and talking about what the acting president just said about hate species, I think it was here on this program that they predicted when I was saying Osinbajo has just been threatening. He has not done anything. You predicted that it will get to a point he will seek allowances and opportunities to really move against these people. And sincerely, this is what I see. I heard that the executive is even approaching the National Assembly to get a bill or something about punishments for hate species.
Now, because it's going to be treated as an act of terrorism.
That is what he said.
To show you how
and to back
serious.
it up, he wants legislation.
Yes.
If that is done, the idea of if we go after Kano, it will create problem. If we go after this other fellow from the north, it will create problem. We may have been able to take care of that. It is legislation. It is what the law says. For now, we do not have a legal prescription. It probably was expected in the past that morally we would know how not to cross the boundary. But where you have Nnamdi Kanu, you see, I want to talk more about him because he provoked what happened in Kaduna with Yerima Shetima and Co coming up to... He provoked it. I was opportune to speak to some of the actors on that side, and they did say that for months, Kanu, before he was arrested, was provoking the polity called Nigeria. Even while in detention, at every appearance in court, he's either calling Nigeria a zoo or calling its president a dodo now, then he is. It will take more than any other person.
Honestly, even same videos
to convince them. Because of the stature of the man who said, I mean, and talking about what the acting president just said about hate species, I think it was here on this program that they predicted when I was saying Osinbajo has just been threatening. He has not done anything. You predicted that it will get to a point he will seek allowances and opportunities to really move against these people. and sincerely, this is what I see. I heard that the executive is even approaching the National Assembly to get a bill or something about punishments for hate species.
Now, because it's going to be treated as an act of terrorism.
That is what he said.
To show you how
and to back
serious.
it up, he wants legislation.
Yes.
If that is done, the idea of if we go after Kano, it will create problem. If we go after this other fellow from the north, it will create problem. We may have been able to take care of that. It is legislation. It is what the law says. For now, we do not have a legal prescription. It probably was expected in the past that morally we would know how not to cross the boundary. But where you have Nnamdi Kanu, you see, I want to talk more about him because he provoked what happened in Kaduna with Yerima Shetima and Co coming up to. He provoked it. I was opportune to speak to some of the actors on that side, and they did say that for months, Kanu, before he was arrested, was provoking the polity called Nigeria. Even while in detention, at every appearance in court, he's either calling Nigeria a zoo or calling its president a zookeeper. After all this, he was released. And then given strict conditions as to how to move and comport himself.
With 10 people at the same time. You must not talk to the press.
But he's been with thousands. He's talking with international press, not just our local press, and nothing is happening. So they feel that no man is an island of threats and violence. They made that provocative statement. I want to tell you, if the president or the government as it is now continue to look on, more threats, more hate species will hit up the polity. I mean, they've started. They're already telling you they will do this, they will do this, they will do this. And before you know it, the people from Southwest will join. And then we will have thrown the whole country into chaos for reasons we could have avoided. And that's why one is worried. Why one is worried, one is also happy that Mr. Acting President probably is finding its voice with this statement. If he follows this up, I think some sense will be injected into some quarters, and we might be on our way out of this, rubbish that we found ourselves in the last day.
Jude, are we not using a sledgehammer to kill Justice Molant if we are saying that it's going to be regarded as an act of terrorism, as treated equally?
Yes, because look, we must not diminish the capacity of hate speech to cause bloodshed in our country. Hate speech led to the killings in Kenya after the election. Not this one.
The one that Kenyatta emerged first.
Hate speech wasn't the Rwandan problem.
Hutu and the Tutsi.
Hate speech wasn't the Rwandan problem. Across the world, people have used their tongues to cause trouble, to set brother against brother, to spill blood needlessly. So, and if by your actions you are provoking a bloodbath, it's terrorism. It's terrorism. Because your actions, my own disappointment is, before the election, when everyone felt that Nigeria would be consumed by the violence that could result from the conduct of the 2015 election, the international community was really interested in Nigeria's matter. Remember the ICC's chief prosecutor, Fatou Ben Saida, the Gambian woman, came to Nigeria to warn our politicians that the ICC will prosecute them if they are found guilty of making inflammatory statements and all that. You see, all the world was looking for at that time was to see Nigeria conduct a free and fair election that will be devoid of bloodletting. But after that election, things have degenerated. It is about time.
It's been a free for all.
It's about time that the ICC descended on Nigeria.
Even Nigerian government.
And picked up.
There's a government in charge.
Look, and pick up people who are responsible for all these hate speeches and setting our people against one another. Look, somebody said there was no election that divided us more than the last election. We are much more divided now than even after that election.
Honestly.
And nothing has worsened it than the behaviors, the irresponsible remarks being made by Kanu. Irresponsible remarks made by the
sectional leaders,
the youthful elders from the north, led by Shetima.
And people like Femi Fani-Kayode.
You know, Femi Fani-Kayode is a man that no one needs to take seriously. He has lost the capacity to be taken seriously, because a man with that education, the man with that background, the former minister of the Federal Republic, making the kind of irresponsible statements that Femi Fani-Kayode makes. Sometimes he talks and you just wonder whether he just staggered out of a beer parlor. You know, unreasoned remarks about his own country. If people are tired of Nigeria, they should leave the country for the rest of us who feel proud of our country. We are proud of our country. If you think that our country is a zoo, then leave our country for us. Those of us who are proud of our country, we will remain here. We know that we can get better than we are. But with time, we will improve as a country. With a succession of good leaders, we will improve. We are not going to give up on ourselves. We won't give up on ourselves as Nigerians. We won't. So those who are tired of our country, who do not see anything good about our country, who think that we do not have any redeeming feature as a country, they can leave the country for the rest of us.
All right. After this break, pensioners in Kwara State continue endless wait to get their arrears. This is Journalist Hangout. We'll be right back after this time out. Stay with us. Today, the story of many pensioners in Kwara State are pathetic. Many of them live in desperate poverty. They are tired and struggle with bad health. They seem to have been shortchanged and abandoned by the very system they used their youthful energy to build. Today, the Kwara State government is owing more than 9,000 pensioners a staggering 1.68 billion naira. And when we say a staggering, it's not that staggering to a state government. The debt is not the problem. What is heartbreaking is the state government says it has written off the debt to develop infrastructure. You had that right. This was the agreement the state brokered with the state chapter of the Nigerian Pensioners Union in 2008. Sadly, the talks excluded the concerned petitioners. Is like shaving one's hair behind the person involved. What ought to be the rights of the pensioners have become a subject of litigation in the last 9 years. During this process, no fewer than 1,000 of them have died struggling to get what they had labored for. The case has gone through all the courts in Nigeria, and the Supreme Court has just told the pensioners to start the case. The lawyers will call it de novo, all over again. Will these pensioners ever get justice? Babajide, like a month ago, we had cause to discuss this. And when we say 1.9 billion naira to a state government because of the recession, are you going to say it's staggering to pay 1.6 billion naira if you start doing it in phases from 2008 till this time? I'm sure those people would have forgotten that they were ever owed this money. Yes. 1.6 billion naira does not amount to anything.
The government could have agreed to pay it in phases. But the problem with us is that governments continually treat the people like a sweet wrap on the floor. They treat the people like rags. Otherwise, this is the sweat of these fellows. is what belongs to them. It's their legitimate right to be paid their pension arrears. Now, if you are short of funds at the time, all you needed to have done was to say, see, let us pay this thing in phases. We can't pay at once. And then you come up with a template of phased payment for these people.
Yeah.
But instead of that, you elected to go through the courts. And in the courts, you couldn't even win. Because the court ruled that, look, the people signed the agreement to have 50% of the entitlement paid to them, and the remaining 50% conceded to government, did not have the mandate of
the general house,
a body of pensioners. So you lost again. And then the Supreme Court now said, look, that the lower court erred in the course of the trial. Therefore, they should go and start the process again. Now, Megida is the man who is the governor of Kwara. He's someone that I've seen from afar. He looks gentle. He has that gentle visage when you look at him. I expect the governor to behave in a decent manner.
And he has not attracted any scandal so far since he got...
Yes, a lot of people respect him for that. He just
does
does...
second time.
He does his
business. You will never hear anything on.
He does his business. At least it's not like the man in Kogi who continues to attract negative publicity. Megida should just go ahead and behave like a man who has conscience. Do what is right. This is not about taking these old men to court. So many of them, I think about even the 6 leaders, and about 1,000 of those members have died since the case began. If Megida's dad was one of those people, how will he feel? So Megida has to do the right thing. He has to do the right thing. He has to do what makes sense. And what makes sense is to agree to pay these people. You can call them and say, see, I agree that government is a continuum. Things are tight. I do not want you people to continue to waste your time in court. Because before the case gets resolved at the Supreme Court, a lot more of these pensioners will have died. And when they die, the sin will be on the head of the people who fail to pay them. Because what you have asked those guys to do now, what you have asked those old men to do, to concede the result of their sweat to government.
Infrastructure.
Palm sex in Kwara State were not put through the same regime. I don't think that Bukola Saraki conceded his pension to the state government at that time, although we are hearing now that based on Serap's complaint, he has decided that they should, his pension, he has decided to concede it to the state. But we know that he was the one who designed that juicy
pension package.
So he couldn't have designed it without a desire to benefit on his own. We are not fools. So the point that we are making is, two wrongs do not make a right. Pay these old men. Pay these old men. Megida, pay these old men, and they will pray for you. They will pray for you. Your days will be long. To continue to refuse to pay these people and be saying that, you didn't inherit this problem and all that is wrong. Pay them.
Kwara, it's unfortunate that we're hearing this about that state. Somehow, each time I remember Kogi, I always think about Kwara, and I send a silent silent prayer to God that that part of our country is enjoying some respite on the other wing, because it's just like one football pitch, Kwara on this side, Kogi on this side, and you begin to see the contrast. And but this is quite worrisome. if for 9 years.
This administration actually inherited.
You see, when we talk
government
about,
is government.
but don't forget that Megida was the finance commissioner in that administration.
Yes.
So he cannot.
It's liable as
He
well.
cannot.
It's
See,
liable.
the
It's just like the ASU agreement now.
agreement that we're talking
it was
about.
in 2009. So the Buhari government will have to do something.
The issue with Kwara and the pensioner is funny that we are asking some old men to go to the to pour water from their little pots in their house into the sea. We are asking them to forfeit their mega pension to state for infrastructural development. I know that this manner of agreement was signed or purportedly signed in 2008. That was a year into Senate President Bukola Saraki's re-election. And around that time, the 2007 set of public office holders in Kwara got their severance allowance, got paid huge sums of money for serving the government for 4 years, while men who served for 30 years, 35 years, were denied their own. By 2011 again, when Saraki was concluding his second term, he got his severance allowance. The commissioners, including Megida himself, got theirs. And there are a lot of juicy packages designed to ensure that they live well in retirement.
Yes.
Because they were going to official retirement. Knowing fully well that many of them, like the then speaker, the then finance commissioner who is now governor, the then speaker is now in the House of Representatives, nearly all of the key players in the Bukola Saraki administration found themselves again in government, still enjoying the dividends of public office. However, the same people found it convenient to tell old men and women who served for 30 years, 35 years, to forfeit the little that will go into their pocket. I think, like Babajide said, the case has dragged on for too long. 9 years is a long time in the life of retirees, and in the life of anybody anyway. Now that the Supreme Court,
the way these things,
no, they say
if you are owing me 50,000 naira,
and
an old man of 70 years,
value
you will remember that money no matter
accurately.
And
his
keep record, and his sweat.
You said
the problem with these old men is that even if you tell them as your dad, that look,
forfeit this money.
Leave this money. Don't.
I have one in my house.
They will not listen.
I have one in my house. My mom served government and retired 2008, and every time I hear that pensioners or if you want your gratuity, come and line up. So I will call her number and she will not pick. Eventually, in the night when I will call, she will tell me she was at so place. They said we should go get our breakfast. I said, but I told you to. Let this thing be.
No, it's an emotional thing for them.
They see it as their right.
Yes.
How small.
They are attached.
See, it's not a lot of money. My mom would travel all the way to Lokoja to go and keep a date with them. And all these wicked governors, wicked government officials coming with some shitty verification exercises and all that.
Subject them in the
sun. These people, some of them, they are diabetic, no access to their drugs. You make people suffer.
That's why you hear
some of them will die there.
They die, they faint.
A lot of them die there.
They faint.
They die. That's why you see some people. Nobody knows how he will end up in life. So the important thing is for us to just do good. There was a governor in Kano State by the name of Ibrahim Shekarau. Every month, Shekarau allocated 50 million to the pensions board. And during his time, 2003 to 2011, no pensioner in Kano was old. That is
2003 to 2011.
Yes, that is the kind of example that I want.
I think Shekarau was a teacher.
He was a teacher. He was even, you see, here is a man who was sacked by a governor. The man he ended up defeating.
Yes.
And imagine as a governor after. And you see, you mentioned Shekarau.
So why can't they? Is the lesson?
You see, Shekarau is a lesson to many governors. When he came in, he remembered what he went through in the hand of a governor. So being governor, he knew too that one day I won't be here. So I think that informed his behavior. And that's why not too long ago, you see, we're talking about Kwara today. In Lagos, Governor Bode came and said he doesn't want to hold pensioners. I think their background matters when they begin to handle it. I'm sure
Former civil servant.
Yes, former civil servant. He said,
They know what it takes.
There was a day my mother
Even
said,
what
"This is
Fashola
the
used
man-
to owe,
this-
some of the allowances that Fashola used
He
to owe civil
started
servants,
clearing.
he started paying.
You see,
Like the
about
leave
2-3
bonus,
weeks
leave
ago,
bonus and the rest.
2-3 weeks ago, my mom said she had Ambode talking about their money on TV, and she is very sure that this man will pay.
Okay, let me pick
It's
up
his
this call.
disposition.
My first caller today is Adeshola. Adeshola is calling from Kwara State.
Hello.
Thank you for joining us, Adeshola.
Thank you. I'm a first caller, sir.
All right.
Ah, great.
Great. Thank you for joining us. Go ahead with your contribution.
I love the topic that you guys are talking about.
Okay.
Civil servants in the Kwara State, but they are dying. Are you getting it?
Yeah.
Hello.
Yes,
We are
yes,
with
you.
you.
We are
Just
with
keep
you.
talking, keep talking.
They are dying.
What's killing them?
It's their gratuity. They don't pay them their money. They were staffing, stressing them, telling them all sorts of stories.
Do you mean local government workers or?
Pensioners.
Pensioners, the local government workers.
Okay, Adeshola, I think I've gotten your point there. Thank you. He called up from Kwara State to give us at least to
insight
corroborate
into
what
what is being discussed.
what we've been saying. Ultimately, most of these governors, they even prioritize paying the regular salary for workers that are still working. But you now hear that, oh, he has updated his salary, he's not owing again. But forgetting that they are owing pensioners 21 months, 16 months. That is a regular practice, even in so many states, Jide.
Yes. They think that pensioners do not even deserve to live. That's the way they are reasoning.
Because they cannot go on
They
strike.
are
and
prepared
affect
to
them.
pay the people who are still in service.
To avoid strike.
As for pensioners, they can go to hell. That's the way they are reasoning. And some of them are children of teachers, children of civil servants. And
From
all that.
modest
Local
backgrounds.
government workers.
You know, a lot of them are from modest background. So why people will get to the position of authority, become governors, and then suddenly transform into the bizarre is what I do not understand. So learn from people like Shekarau, God bless him where he is, and all the other governors that are paying pensioners regularly. In the case of Megida, I hear that he's paying Kwara pensioners. Is up to date. But that...
He
but
inherited it.
Yes, he inherited this, and local government pensioners
are being owed
are
now.
being owed. So all that needs to be done is for the government to look for a way to solve this problem. Because if they don't solve the problem, we will keep talking about it. You can't button up our lips. We will keep talking about it. You must solve the problem.
1.6
Because I
billion
feel
naira
for those old men.
For those old men,
I feel for
1.6
those old
billion
men.
naira,
We
it's a
not
lot of
grant-
money.
yes, we
It's
not
small
grant the
money
state
to
to
the
an
state
halt.
government.
Yes.
You see,
Especially if they agree to pay it in phases.
and then look at talking about it being inherited.
300 million, 300
Megida should
million
also
before you
ensure
know it.
that the next government does not inherit this. It is not something we should be talking about.
All right. In the 80s, the Nigerian aviation sector was the envy of many African countries. It was a major money spinner and a world-class facility for aircraft maintenance. Airline operators travel from different parts of Africa to do their sea checks here. But today, what made the sector great has disappeared. Like many sectors in Nigeria, the aviation sector is sadly on its knees. Airline operators now fly abroad to do their aircraft maintenance routine. And in the last 5 years, they have reduced their operations at least 35% in order to cope with the killing maintenance costs. This day newspaper says airline operators now spend about 50 billion naira annually. Check that out. 50 billion naira annually to service their aircraft overseas. If the maintenance is done locally, at least 30% of the maintenance costs will be saved. How do they get to this very, very wasteful dispensation that all our airlines and everything, we don't have any facility to maintain our aircraft right near in Nigeria. It's so unfortunate that during the time of Nigeria Airways will always be a reference point.
Yes.
Because of the exploit and success of that particular government enterprise. But what we see now, even the ones that are seemingly big, they are heavily indebted. They're in trouble. Some of them, Amcon has taken over them. And have been run, you know. Then the names, even the so-called bigger ones with, you know, fleet of. So, Jide, what is happening to this sector? We know it's a capital-intensive sector to manage.
You know, the devaluation of the naira has done an incalculable damage to the health of Nigerian airlines. And over the years, I think one of the greatest misfortunes to befall the Nigerian state is the death of the Nigerian flag carrier, which is the Nigerian Airways. Because this Nigerian Airways was highly rated back in those days. Yeah. We are talking about the fact that there is no facility for airplanes to do their C-check in Nigeria. But in the past we had. Today, airlines spend between 600,000 pounds to £1 million on C-check, just on one aircraft. It depends on what they find when they open up the aircraft.
And the C-check is not the major one.
Is the
comprehensive? Yes, the C is the comprehensive one. Okay, one is D, one is C. Okay.
The C-check is the
comprehensive one, like we are servicing it.
Yeah, they call it maintenance, repair, and overhaul.
Okay.
So when they open it up and they find all kinds of things, your cost will go up. 600,000 to like £1 million. Cost of fueling is not there. Yeah. The unfortunate thing is that when these airlines go for this C-check, an NCA official, at the expense of the airlines, will travel with them to witness the C-check. When the C-check,
all expenses.
Yes. When the C-check has been done, they will tell the airline to fly to Johannesburg empty and back, just to test the aircraft to be sure that everything is fine. That is why airlines are bleeding, because nearly everything is denominated in the dollar.
And they will foil it.
And we all know that the naira has declined seriously. From ticket sales, it's extremely difficult for airlines to maintain their fleet. From ticket sales, because you can't unilaterally just increase ticket sales in Nigeria. Even if you increase, even if you increase, the number of patrons will go down drastically. As we speak, in the last 10 years, so many airlines have died because of this cost of maintenance. But before now, Ethiopia Airlines, that is the pride of Africa, that is one of the biggest airlines in the world, used to do a C-check in the Nigerian Airways hangar. When you remember something, you need to cry for your country. Just remembering such things that Nigeria used to be great. Nigerian Airways hangar here, Ethiopia was doing a C-check here. Today, Nigeria Airways has been cannibalized. It no longer exists. One of the airplanes of Nigerian Airways, a Boeing 737, was actually what the Libyans bought and refurbished, converted it to their presidential airplane. When IBB visited Libya, he was told that the airplane was bought from Nigeria. They will have sold it like scrap. They say, oh, this one is no longer useful. Another country converted a Boeing 737 that he bought from us to a presidential jet.
And
that they even carried our own president in it.
And so the beauty of it is that the aircraft can be very old and everything so far.
Today,
they are maintaining it.
When I was looking at what The same air, Ethiopian Air, that used to come and do C-check here in Nigeria. Today, Ethiopia has 5 Airbus 350, 900 series. That 900 series, the cost of one is $275 million.
It's double decker.
$265 million. And Ethiopia has 5.
Specialized runway, not all runways can.
They have Boeing 777. They have 6. That is 777, 6. They have Boeing 767, 6. They have 92 aircraft. 92. Today, if Boeing comes out with an aircraft, just as it happened when Boeing came out with you remember something, you need to cry for your country. Just remembering such things that Nigeria used to be great. Nigeria Airways hangar here, Ethiopia was doing a C-check here. Today, Nigeria Airways has been cannibalized. It no longer exists. One of the airplanes of Nigeria Airways, a Boeing 737, was actually what the Libyans bought and refurbished, converted it to their presidential airplane. When IBB visited Libya, he was told that the airplane was bought from Nigeria. They will have sold it like scrap. Say, oh, this one is no longer useful. Another country converted a Boeing 737 that he bought from us to a presidential jet.
And
that they even carried our own president in it.
And
so
the beauty of it is that aircraft can be very old and everything. So far,
today,
they are maintaining it.
When I was looking at what the same air, Ethiopian Air, that used to come and do C-check here in Nigeria, today, Ethiopia has 5 Airbus 350, 900 series. That 900 series, the cost of one is $275 million.
It's double decker.
$265 million. And Ethiopia has 5.
Specialized runway, not all runways can.
They have Boeing 777. They have 6. That is 777, 6. They have Boeing 767, 6. They have 92 aircraft. 92. Today, if Boeing comes out with an aircraft, just as it happened when Boeing came out with a Boeing 787 Dreamliner, Ethiopia was one of the first airlines in the world to request for it, to place order for it. And they were, in the past, they were below us.
Honestly. I wanted to ask you that the case is always the same. When they tell you that Singapore came here to come and collect Malaysia, come and collect palm kernel, when they tell you that there was a time a dollar to a naira was, 1 naira to $1. Do you understand? And when you start hearing this gist, they will always leave us. And most of those countries, they are doing better now. Look at in the aviation sector right now. I can tell you for free that if you are flying Lagos, Dubai, American routes, you discover that the aircraft, like an airline like Etihad, will bring to Lagos, Dubai, will be different from the plane that will pick you from Dubai to America. Why? Because they will tell you that our runway and, this Airbus that Jide is talking about, double-decker Airbus, those Airbus, some of them cannot enter our runway in Nigeria, in Lagos and in Abuja. You can't see them. Very, very big. They can accommodate as much as 800 people at the same time. So in terms of development, what are we doing? Our aviation sector is now, very, very, very backward. Go to our airports.
It's not just in the aviation sector. Our aviation sector is just mirroring the decay that Nigeria has become over the years. We talk about Ethiopia, we talk about Singapore, we talk about Malaysia, we talk about South Africa. The question we should ask ourselves is, what are the things these countries have that we lack? And if you look well, you will discover it's leadership. Look, it is leadership. Nigerian Airways, it is one of the things I used to make examples, to argue when examples are made of the difference between military and democracy. Sincerely, as good as democracy is, Nigeria, we are yet to reap the dividends of democracy. We are left to still consider the gains of military rules because the democratic dispensation has not been up and doing. If we had good leadership, we shouldn't be where we are today. We've had leaders who encourage corruption. One of the banes of Nigerian highway is corruption. One of the things that are grounded Nigerian highway is corruption. We allow corruption to thrive for too long.
At a point in time, they had
People
to
are flying for free.
For free. Government officials, I remember we used to have some uncles and relatives in Abuja. Then
a whole country like Nigeria, we have to close our runway because we want to maintain one. We have just one runway.
We closed Abuja and we had to go to Kaduna. And then we now started doing Abuja Kaduna Road, a den of robbery and killing.
Kidnappers.
And you see, the truth.
Right now, we're not thinking about that second runway now.
No, the second runway is still there.
We're not thinking
the
about
runway in
developing
Lagos,
it.
the runway in Lagos is still
Even
there.
this one, what they did was just largely palliative.
They
They were supposed to rebuild the runway,
They
but
did surfacing.
it wasn't rebuilding that they did, because the House of Reps committee, when they went, they said they merely saw the resurfacing, no rebuilding, not outright rebuilding. So you lock up the place for so long
to resurface. So if you are to build a new one, how long will it take us?
We're not planning towards that now.
Talking about placing Nigeria at par with this other nation, if we continue to lament, we will remain habitual complainants. This is the time for us to act. Plug the holes. The aviation sector, when you mention aviation sector in Nigeria, you will just be remembering sleaze. The Oduas of this world, the Fani Kayode of this world,
MDs,
the Fan
that's
MD,
airport, federal airport of
the
airport of Nigeria. That is headquarters of
the
corruption.
For years,
NCAA,
NAMA, corruption stories have emerged over the years. And what have we really done about it? We keep sending new persons into that old bottles, and we recycle corrupt practices. Then we saw private investors coming into that sector.
We frustrated them.
Let me quickly pick this call from Wisdom. Thank you for joining us, Wisdom.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Wisdom.
Good evening, Baba. Chide.
Good evening.
I want to appreciate you guys for what you're doing.
Thanks.
This is my first time of calling.
Great. Happy to hear
I
you.
just wanted to chip in some things concerning the hate speech.
Okay.
Now, when you look at all your analysis down to Kwara, now, why do you think there won't be hate speech? When a man is hungry, anything goes. You and I know that as a husband in the house, sometimes we lose our head just because we are hungry. And here we are, you see people rolling out money, and you now ask yourself, are you part of this nation? So if there is any reason for you to say anything you want to say, you won't hold back. So I think our leaders really need to work. It's not enough to just make a declaration. Hate speech will be handled as terrorism. What about the corrupt people? Would they call them a terrorist as well?
Yeah. All right. Thank you, Wisdom. Thank you for your contribution. Nothing still gives license to heat up the politics.
No, it's not even. Some of those people are not even hungry. They are just stupid.
No, they are not pensioners.
It's not
those people
hold money.
Fanning the embers of.
Let's not encourage.
Most of them are not. They are well to do. They are just going people.
There is no license.
When you look back at Nigeria Airways and the shame of the demise of the Nigerian Airways, you remember that Ethiopia used to have a dictator by the name Mengistu Haile Mariam. Mengistu, as a dictator, was running riot, he was misbehaving in his country. But Mengistu didn't touch Ethiopia Airways, Ethiopia Airline. He didn't touch it. because he knew that this was the pride of his country.
He let it go.
Even at the height of his dictatorial tendencies, because dictators are more or less beasts in the real sense. At the height of it, Mengistu didn't touch Ethiopian Airlines. Today is not just the pride of Africa, of that country, but the pride of our continent. Because an airline that can make profit of 265 million in 1 year, one airline has to be respected. So it's not too late. When you go to Heathrow, go to all this, you see Kenya Airways and all that. I mean, it should bother us. Shouldn't we also be leaders in the real sense? Shouldn't Nigeria be leader in the real sense of the word? And why can't we provide leadership in that area? And we will be
in the same market. You see, one of the problems we are having is the fact that we allowed some sectors to die naturally because we are concentrating on others. The aviation sector was one area Nigeria was making really good money. Countries were coming here to service their fleets. Airlines were coming to service, and we were one of the highly respected flying whatever. All
our people fly a lot.
Honestly, and our people fly a lot.
If it's not because of recession.
Today, Ghana has overtaken us as the hub. For West Africa.
No, people go to Ghana from Nigeria.
Yes,
to fly abroad.
Yes.
Because of the cost. When you look at the cost implications, because of our own foreign exchange.
Because of our stable.
And then you cannot even be sure. You could book a flight now.
Unstable value of the naira. Unstable value of the naira makes it difficult for people to plan. Airlines want to be able to say, okay, this whole week, this is how much. But you can't be sure.
Can't do that
in Nigeria.
It could be so amount in the morning and in the afternoon.
At the point that it became extremely difficult.
Value will change again.
Their money. We have Phillips from Edo State.
Good evening, sir.
Good evening, Phillips.
You guys are doing a very wonderful job. Good evening, bros.
I agree to Philip.
About the hate speech of it, if you check it, APC is the foundation of hate speech in Nigeria. But you can't say because of Mr. A is doing it, then Mr. B should do it. Because
honestly, you are right.
Thank you.
The kind of speeches that came out from utterances that came out from APC politicians is a lot to cause war. But we condemn it. I think I support the president on what they want to do on it. Then the issue of owing pensioners for 9 years, that one is witchcraft. I don't not be collecting money for the 9 years. They have been collecting allocation. It is witchcraft. It's unacceptable.
Witchcraft.
It's wicked. It's wickedness in the highest level.
Okay.
You guys.
Thank you, Phillips.
Well,
rounding off on this now, moving forward, that sector, I think government, they were talking about a national carrier. We've been talking of that. Alhaji Hadi Sarika.
The president said he was going to. Initially, the president said, "Look, I'm focusing on railways because we can move more people with railways."
Yes.
But after he was sworn in, that was what he said when we interviewed him in his hometown. But after he was sworn in, he started talking about the need for a national carrier. So what we want to see now is real momentum. Along that line, let's have a national carrier that we can be proud of.
It is disgraceful. It is not good for us as a nation not to have Nigerian Airways. If it is just to have our flag flying out there, it's enough.
All right, like to just announce that the Kwara State government, they just tweeted right now that we on Journalist Hangout should get our fact right, that they are not owing pensioners. And we say we stand to be corrected,
You
sir.
are owing,
We stand to
you
be
are
corrected.
owing, you are owing those
This
men for 9 years.
This might not be something from your administration, but there are set
Government
of
is
pensioners.
continue.
Yes. You went to the Supreme Court and the case is about to start again de novo. This particular set of 2008 will stand to be corrected.
You are owing them.
We have a list
of
what you are owing them, a breakdown of what you are owing them, and the names of the people that you are owing. We have that list.
And
we don't just.
We are appealing to you to go ahead and pay. Don't live in denial. Go ahead and pay the people that you are owing. And when you pay the people that you are owing, we will come here and say, Megida, Sadanka, Megida.
I just even be told that the list in our possession, we have 160 pages. It's a bulky
the money is quite
so
you are not owing pensioners currently in service. Currently now. But you are owing The class of 2008. Yeah. Those are the people. Let's not misrepresent facts.
I want to thank you, Dari, for being our guest today. And me and Babajide, we do this every day. I want to say, well, thank God it's Friday.
Thank God it's Friday.
So
let's ask him where it's taking us.
There's
a place down the road.
Oh, so maybe that's
you and I yes. There's a place down the road.
Maybe you should come
That's it on Journalist Hangout. Join us next week for another interesting episode of the program. You can watch the repeat broadcast tonight on DSTV 418, GoTV 45. You can also watch Journalist Hangout on YouTube. That's youtube.com/TVC News Nigeria. Our feedback channel is Journalist Hangout at tvcnews.tv. I'm Ayodele Osinbajo. Have a lovely new weekend ahead and see you on Monday. God willing.